You ever get that gut feeling that something is off, but you push it down because you want to believe everything is fine? That was me. I was David Jenkins, a guy who thought he had the perfect wife, a loving marriage, and a life that, while not extraordinary, was steady, safe. Until I got that email. It was a Tuesday morning. I was at work, half listening to my boss drone on during a meeting, when my phone buzzed. Just another email. I almost ignored it, but something about the subject line made my chest tighten. You deserve to know the truth about Lauren. Lauren, my wife. My best friend. My everything. My hands felt weirdly numb as I clicked on the message. David, I don't want to be involved, but I've seen Lauren at the Rosewood Motel with another man on Fridays. I thought you should know. That was it. No name, no proof. Just that one line, like a bomb quietly dropped into my life. I sat there, staring at the screen, my mind racing. Lauren and I had been together for 8 years, married for 5. We had inside jokes, late-night talks, weekend getaways. And yeah, our intimacy, strong as ever. So why would she cheat? It made no sense. I wanted to delete the email, pretend I never saw it. But I couldn't. That night, I went home and looked at Lauren like stranger. She was in the kitchen, humming as she made dinner, smiling like nothing was wrong. I kissed her on the cheek, like I always did. But for the first time, I was searching for something off. And I found it. Her phone, usually left face up on the counter, was suddenly face down. She always texted me during the day, but now, barely a word. And when I asked how her day was, she hesitated, just for a second, before answering. It was subtle, so small that I almost convinced myself I was imagining things. But that email had cracked something in me, and I couldn't unsee it. That's when I decided. I wasn't just going to sit there and wonder. I was going to find out the truth. I barely slept that night. Every time I closed my eyes, my mind replayed the email over and over. What if it was some cruel joke? A lie? Or worse, what if it was true? By morning, I had made up my mind. I wasn't going to accuse Lauren outright. That would just tip her off. No, I needed to be smart, careful. If she was cheating, I had to catch her. At breakfast, Lauren was the same as always, sweet, affectionate, talking about weekend plans. She even reached over and fixed my tie, like she always did. But now every little thing she did felt suspicious. I casually asked, "You have any plans Friday?" She didn't even look up from her coffee. Nothing much. Probably just a quiet night in. Maybe a bubble bath and a movie. A quiet night in. I felt something in my stomach twist, but I forced myself to act normal. Sounds nice. I've got that work trip, remember? I'll be out of town. She finally looked up, her expression. I don't know. Neutral. Maybe a little too neutral. All right. I forgot. Where's it again? I had no trip, but I played my part. Chicago. Leaving Friday afternoon. Back Sunday morning. Lauren sipped her coffee, nodding. Hope it's not too boring. I watched her closely. No nervous fidgeting. No hesitation. If anything, she seemed relieved. That was all I needed. That day, I made my own plans. Friday afternoon, I would pack a bag, leave the house like I was heading to the airport, and then I'd double back. If she was lying, I was going to catch her. And if I did, she had no idea what was coming. The days leading up to Friday felt like torture. Every little thing Lauren did, I second-guessed. Was she texting him? Was she thinking about him while we were in bed together? She acted normal. Maybe too normal. She still kissed me goodbye in the mornings. Still laughed at my jokes. Still laid her head on my chest while we watched TV at night. But then there were the little things. Wednesday, she took a long shower after coming home from running errands. She never did that. Thursday, she casually asked what time my flight was. She never cared about details like that before. And then there was her phone. She was guarding it more. I noticed she'd angle the screen away from me. And when she got a message, she'd swipe it away fast. By Thursday night, I felt sick. Maybe I was crazy. Maybe I was overreacting. Maybe some jealous idiot sent that email just to mess with me. Or maybe I was about to have my entire life blown apart. Friday finally came. That morning, I packed a bag with just enough to make it look real. Lauren kissed me at the door, running her hands through my hair like she always did. "Have a safe flight, babe," she said, smiling. I forced a smile back. "I'll text you when I land." I walked out the door, got in my car, and drove away. And then, once I was sure she thought I was gone, I turned the car around and parked a few blocks away. Now all I had to do was wait, and when she made her move, I'd be right there to watch it all unfold. Sitting in my car, a few blocks away, I felt like a damn spy. My hands were gripping the wheel, so tight my knuckles were white. I kept checking my phone, watching the clock, waiting for something to happen. Lauren had no idea I was watching. An hour passed. Then another. Nothing. I started to wonder if I was losing it. Maybe she was just staying home like she said. Maybe I was about to make a fool of myself. And then, at exactly 6:47 p.m., my phone buzzed. A text from Lauren. "Miss you already. Hope your flight was smooth. Love you, Redheart." I stared at the screen, my jaw tightening. She was covering her tracks. She wanted to make sure I thought she was home, missing me. But my gut told me otherwise. A few minutes later, I spotted movement. The front door opened, and there she was. Lauren stepped out, dressed nice. Not lounging at home nice, but I'm about to see someone important nice. Tight jeans, a fitted top, hair done, makeup perfect. My stomach dropped. She walked to her car, glancing around like she was making sure no one was watching. Then she got in and drove off. I gave her a head start, then followed. She drove for about 15 minutes before pulling into the parking lot of the Rosewood Motel, the same place from the email. I gripped the steering wheel so hard my fingers ached. My heart was pounding, but my mind was cold, focused. I parked far enough away so she wouldn't notice me. She sat in her car for a moment, maybe checking her phone, maybe waiting for him. And then, like clockwork, another car pulled up beside her. A man stepped out, tall, dark hair, dressed casual but confident. I didn't recognize him. Lauren got out of her car, and my heart shattered as I watched her smile at him. A real smile. A smile she used to give me. Then, right in front of my eyes, she leaned in and kissed him. Full on, like she'd been dying to do it all day. I sat there, frozen, as they laughed and disappeared into a motel room together. My wife. My loving wife. All those nights. All those kisses. All those I love yous. It was all a damn lie. But if she thought she could just get away with this, she was dead wrong. I don't know how long I sat there. 5 minutes. 10. My hands were shaking, but my mind was eerily clear. It was like I had stepped outside of myself, watching this all unfold like a movie. Lauren. My wife. With another man. I wasn't the jealous type. Never had been. But this wasn't jealousy. This was pure, cold rage. She had kissed me goodbye this morning, told me she loved me, and now she was in a motel room with some guy like I didn't even exist. I should have stormed in right then. Should have kicked the damn door down and let them know exactly how badly they messed up. But no, that would be too easy for her. Lauren didn't just betray me. She played me. Lied straight to my face, covered her tracks, sent fake texts. That meant she thought she was smart. So I decided to be smarter. I grabbed my phone and snapped a picture of her car, then another of the guy's car, and finally, one of motel room door they disappeared into. Evidence. Proof. No room for lies. Then I did something that felt insane, even to me. I drove home. The house felt different when I stepped inside, like a crime scene. I looked around, taking everything in. The couch where we watched movies. The kitchen where she made me coffee every morning. Our bed. How many times had she come home from this, kissed me, and acted like nothing happened? I checked my phone. An hour had passed. She was probably still in that room with him, still betraying me. I could have texted her, could have called, but I wasn't going to give her any warning. I sat down, took a deep breath, and started planning. If she thought she could sneak around behind my back, she was about to learn just how wrong she was. Because by the time I was done, she wouldn't have a damn thing left. I wasn't going to be the guy who just found out his wife was cheating and cried about it. No. If she wanted to play games behind my back, I was going to flip the board right in her face. So I started planning. First thing I did, I didn't text her. I wanted to see how long she'd keep up the lie. If she'd come home acting all sweet. If she'd look me in the eye and tell me she missed me. I wanted to watch her dig her own grave. At exactly 11:12 p.m., my phone buzzed. A text from Laura. Hope you made it in safe, babe. Long day. Heading to bed. Love you, face blowing a kiss. I almost laughed. She was probably still in that motel room, wrapped around him, sending me this. I didn't respond. Instead, I got to work. Step 1. The paper trail. I went online and started digging. I pulled up our phone records. If she had been doing this for a while, there'd be a pattern. And guess what? There was. Every Friday night for the past 2 months, she had long call logs with one number. Texts too. Late at night. Early in the morning. I copied everything. Screenshots. A full record of every call. Then I ran the number. And there it was. His name. Ethan Collins. I had no clue who the hell he was. But I was about to find out. Step 2. The backup plan. I wasn't going to make any rash moves. If I confronted Lauren now, she'd cry, deny, make excuses. I needed to hit her where it hurt, so I started preparing. Bank statements. Checked. Any suspicious spending. Oh yeah. Social media. Locked down. I didn't want her spinning some sob story when this all came out. Shared accounts. Already looking at how to separate my money. Her family. My family. Oh, they were going to know everything. And just for fun, I made sure Ethan's wife or girlfriend, whoever she was going to know too. If Lauren thought she was getting away with this, she had no idea what was coming. Step 3. Letting her hang herself. Saturday morning, I woke up early. Lauren was still home alone, thinking I was across the country. I waited. No texts from her. No calls. Around 9 a.m., I finally sent one. Me. Good morning, babe. How was your night? She responded instantly. Lauren, it was good. Just relaxed. Watched a movie. What about you? How's Chicago? I felt a cold satisfaction settle in my chest. She was still lying. Still pretending. I smiled at my phone. Can't wait to see you when I get back. And when I did, her whole world was going to fall apart. Saturday dragged by like a slow-burning fire. I spent the day finalizing everything, making copies of our financials, gathering text logs, and even reaching out to a friend who knew a divorce lawyer. Lauren. She was acting normal. She sent a few texts throughout the day. Lauren, miss you. Hope you're having fun, Redheart. Lauren, thinking of you. Just cleaning up around the house. Every single message made my blood boil. She had no idea that I knew. And that was exactly what I wanted. Sunday morning. Showtime. At 10 a.m., I texted her. Me, flight landed early. Be home in 30 minutes. Can't wait to see you, smiling face with smiling eyes. Her reply came fast. Lauren, yay. I'll make breakfast pancakes, Redheart, drive safe. I almost laughed. When I pulled into the driveway, my hands weren't shaking anymore. I wasn't nervous. I was ready. I stepped inside, and there she was, standing in the kitchen, wearing my t-shirt like some devoted, loving wife. Smiling. Welcome home, babe. She beamed, rushing over to hug me. I let her wrap her arms around me, let her press a kiss to my cheek, and then I said it. So, how was your night on Friday? I felt her freeze for half a second, just a flicker of hesitation. But then she pulled back and smiled like nothing was wrong. Oh, just watched a movie, had some wine, relaxed. She didn't even blink. She was so damn confident in her lie. I looked her in the eyes and smiled back. That's funny, I said, because I was in town the whole time. And just like that, the color drained from her face. Lauren's smile didn't just fade. It collapsed. Her face went pale, her eyes darting back and forth, like she was trying to piece together an escape route. What? She stammered, forcing a nervous laugh. What do you mean? I tilted my head, keeping my voice calm. Too calm. I never went to Chicago, Lauren. Silence. Dead. Suffocating silence. Her hands clenched at her sides, her breathing uneven. I don't understand. What are you saying? I pulled my phone from my pocket, tapped the screen, and turned around. The photos. Her car. The motel. The room number. The kiss. She let out a sharp gasp, like the air had been punched out of her lungs. David, I cut her off. Don't lie. Her mouth opened, then closed. Tears welled in her eyes. But I didn't care. Not anymore. She looked at the pictures again, then back at me. And that's when I saw it. Not regret. Not guilt. Fear. She knew. She knew that I had her cornered. The breakdown begins. I can explain, she whispered. I scoffed. Explain what, Lauren? How you snuck off to a motel while I was supposed to be out of town. How you kissed him. How you lied straight to my face. She reached for me, but I stepped back. She panicked. David, please. I swear, it didn't mean anything. It was just, she choked on her words. It was just an experiment. It wasn't serious. I wasn't going to. I laughed. I actually laughed. An experiment. I repeated. So what, Lauren? You're just testing what it's like to cheat. Like it's some kind of science project. She burst into tears. It was a mistake. I didn't mean for it to happen. I love you. I held up a hand, cutting her off again. I know everything, Lauren. Her breath hitched. I know about the calls, the texts, the months of sneaking around. You didn't make a mistake. You made a choice. Over and over again. She shook her head wildly, tears streaming down her face. No, no, no. It wasn't like that. You don't understand. Oh, I understand perfectly, I said, voice ice cold. And now, you're going to understand what it feels like to lose everything. Her sobs grew louder, and she tried again to reach for me. But I was already walking away. Lauren scrambled after me, bare feet slapping against the hardwood floor. David, please. Just let me explain. I didn't stop, didn't turn around. I walked straight to the bedroom, grabbed a duffel bag from the closet, and started packing. Her voice cracked. What are you doing? I zipped the bag and finally looked at her. Leaving. Her face crumpled. No, please. Just listen to me. She rushed forward, grabbing my arm. I was stupid. I wasn't thinking. I don't want him. I love you. I yanked my arm free. You love me. You sure as hell didn't love me Friday night. Her sobs turned frantic. It was nothing. Just a mistake. It didn't mean anything. I clenched my jaw, my patience gone. Then why'd you do it, Lauren? If it was nothing, why risk our marriage for it? She opened her mouth, but no words came out, because she had no good answer. I shook my head. That's what I thought. And then, just as I grabbed my keys, she dropped the bomb. Her last, desperate play. It wasn't serious, she choked out. I only did it because I thought you were cheating on me. I froze. Slowly, I turned back to her. What? She sniffled, wiping her face. I got paranoid. I thought you were losing interest, that maybe there was someone else. And I wanted to see what it felt like. I stared at her, disgusted. So your solution was to cheat. She nodded, tears dripping off her chin. I know it was stupid, but I was scared. And Ethan, he made me feel wanted. But I didn't love him, I swear. I let out a bitter laugh. Ethan, huh? So now you're on a first-name basis. Her eyes widened in panic. No, it's not like that. I stepped forward, my voice dangerously calm. Tell me something, Laura. If I never got that email, if I never caught you, would you have ever told me? Silence. A horrible, gut-wrenching silence. And in that silence, we both knew the answer. The final words. I exhaled slowly, my heart pounding. I'm done, Lauren. She lunged forward, grabbing at my shirt, sobbing uncontrollably. No, please. We can fix this. Don't leave me. I pulled her hands off me and stepped back. You left me the second you walked into that motel room. She shook her head wildly, breaking down right in front of me. I don't want to lose you. Please. I'll do anything. Just tell me what I need to do. I looked her dead in the eyes. Pack your things. Her breath hitched. What? You're the one who wanted an experiment, right? I said, voice sharp as a knife. Well, congratulations, Lauren. Now you get to see what life, without me, really feels like. And with that, I walked out the door. I didn't look back. I didn't go far. Just drove a few blocks down, parked, and sat there in silence. My whole body felt wired, like I had just walked away from an explosion, and the shockwave hadn't hit yet. My phone buzzed. Lauren, 8 missed calls. Lauren, David, please. Just come back, so we can talk. Lauren, I'll do anything. I'll go to therapy. I'll cut him off. Just don't leave me. Lauren, you're my whole life. Please don't do this. I turned off my phone. She wasn't crying because she loved me. She was crying because she got caught. And that's when the rage settled in. I had spent years building a life with her. I had trusted her. I had loved her more than anything. And she threw it away for what? Some thrill. Some experiment. No. She wasn't just going to cry her way out of this. She was going to face consequences. Step 1. Exposing the truth. I drove straight to her parents' house. Her mom answered the door, smiling. David, what a nice surprise. I didn't smile back. We need to talk. 15 minutes later, her parents sat on the couch, stunned. Her mom had tears in her eyes. Her dad, stone-faced, gripping his fists. That's selfish, little, her dad started. But her mom just covered her mouth, shaking her head. I handed them the proof, the texts, the phone records, the motel photos. I'm done with her, I said. I just thought you should know what kind of person your daughter really is. Her dad exhaled sharply, standing up. She's on her own. She won't get a damn thing from us. Her mom sobbed quietly. I don't understand why she would do this. I did, because she thought she could. Step 2. Ethan's girlfriend deserves to know. I still had Ethan's number from the phone records. A quick social media search told me he had a girlfriend, some girl named Rachel. And lucky for me, her profile was wide open. I sent her a message. Me. Hey Rachel, I don't know you, but I need to tell you something about Ethan. She replied in less than a minute. Rachel, who is this? What do you mean? I took a deep breath. Me. I'm David. My wife, Lauren, has been cheating on me with him. I have proof. I sent her everything. The photos, the texts, the records, a full package of betrayal. She didn't answer right away. But 10 minutes later, I got one message. Rachel, thank you. I didn't need to say anything else. Ethan was about to have a very bad day. Step 3. Making it official. By the end of the day, I had spoken to a lawyer. Divorce papers were in motion. Lauren still hadn't stopped calling. She left voicemails, sobbing, begging. But there was no fixing this. And when she finally texted, "Can we just meet in person one last time? Please." I knew exactly what I had to say. Me, no. We're done. Goodbye, Lauren. And with that, I blocked her. For the first time since this whole nightmare started, I felt free. Blocking Lauren should have been the end of it. But of course, she wasn't the type to just let go. By Monday morning, my inbox was flooded. Emails, DMs, even a handwritten letter taped to my apartment door. She wasn't just apologizing anymore. She was bargaining. David, please, just one conversation. One chance to explain everything. I know I messed up, but I was confused. I wasn't thinking clearly. You said I made a choice. But so did you. You chose to leave instead of fighting for us. Doesn't that say something? Do you really want to throw away everything we built? Was I really that horrible of a wife? I stared at the messages, feeling nothing. She still didn't get it. She was still trying to twist this into something mutual, as if I was partially responsible. Like I was the one who betrayed her. I wasn't going to let her rewrite the story. Then, she showed up. It was Tuesday night when I heard the knock on my door. I already knew who it was. I opened it, and there she stood, Lauren, eyes puffy, makeup smeared, her hair messy like she hadn't slept in days. She looked like a wreck. "David," she whispered. "Please." I crossed my arms. "What are you doing here?" She swallowed hard. I just wanted to see you. To talk. I know you block me, but her voice cracked. "I can't eat. I can't sleep. I need you." I stayed silent, letting her unravel. She sniffled. "I know I messed up. I was selfish. I was stupid. But," she shook her head, voice desperate. "We were happy, David. We had something real. Don't you miss it?" For a second, I almost felt sorry for her. Almost. But then I remembered her walking into that motel, kissing him, lying straight to my face. I exhaled sharply. "You don't miss me, Lauren. You miss having someone who loved you unconditionally. Someone you could lie to, and still have waiting for you at home." She flinched, her lip trembling. "That's not true." "Yes, it is," I said. "Because if you really loved me, you wouldn't have risked throwing it all away." She stared at me like she wanted to argue, but she had nothing left to say. And then, finally, her shoulders sagged in defeat. Her voice was barely a whisper. "So, that's it." I nodded. "That's it." She let out a shaky breath, wiped her face, and gave me one last, broken look. Then, without another word, she walked away. And this time, I knew she wasn't coming back. When the door shut behind Lauren, it was like the last piece of weight had been lifted off my chest. I stood there for a while, listening to the silence. No more begging. No more excuses. No more pretending. Just peace. And yet, as much as I had wanted this moment, I couldn't help but feel empty. Not because I missed her. Not because I wanted her back. But because the life I thought I had, it was never real to begin with. Ethan's world burns down. The next day, I got a message. Not from Lauren. From Rachel. "Rachel, just wanted to say thank you." I kicked Ethan out. He tried to lie his way out of it, but once I showed him the proof, he crumbled like a coward. I smirked. "Rachel, he has nowhere to go. His friends won't let him crash, his family is ashamed, and I made sure his job knows exactly what kind of man he is." Poetic justice. I didn't even need to reply. Ethan got what he deserved. And so did Lauren. Lauren's final goodbye. 1 week later, divorce papers were served. She didn't fight it. No pleading. No manipulation. Just a quiet signature. Maybe she finally understood. Or maybe, for the first time in her life, she realized some things can't be undone. Either way, I didn't care. I wasn't angry anymore. I wasn't bitter. I was just done. Moving forward. It took time, but I started to feel like myself again. I focused on my career, my friends, my own damn happiness. And the best part, I woke up every day without the nagging doubt, without the worry, without the fear that the person sleeping next to me might be lying through her teeth. For the first time in years, I was truly free. Weeks passed, then months. At first, it was weird. Waking up alone, coming home to silence. But then something changed. I started enjoying the quiet, the peace, the fact that I didn't have to second-guess everything. I could just live. One morning, I was out grabbing coffee when I ran into an old friend, Mark. He had been at our wedding, back when I thought I was marrying the love of my life. "Man, I heard about what happened," he said, shaking his head. "Lauren really messed up." I shrugged. "Yeah, she did." He studied me for a second. "You don't even seem mad anymore." I thought about it, and he was right. I wasn't mad. I wasn't hurt. I was just done giving a damn. And for the first time in a long time, I smiled. Not a fake one. Not one to cover up the pain. A real, honest-to-God smile. Because I had finally won. Lauren's last message. A few days later, a notification popped up on my phone. An email. From Lauren. I almost ignored it. But curiosity got the best of me. It was short. "David, I just wanted to say I'm sorry. I don't expect you to forgive me, but I needed you to know that I regret everything. Losing you was the worst thing that's ever happened to me, and I have no one to blame but myself. I hope you're happy. You deserve to be." I stared at it for a long time. Then I deleted it. No reply. No closure. She made her choices. and I made mine. And my choice was to never let her be a part of my life again. A new beginning. One evening, I was sitting at a bar when someone sat down next to me. She smiled. Bright, confident, nothing like Lauren. "You look like you could use some company," she said, teasing. I smirked. That obvious. She laughed. A little. We started talking. No pressure. No expectations. Just two strangers, enjoying a conversation. And as we laughed over drinks, I realized something. Lauren had been wrong. I didn't lose everything. I just lost the dead weight. As the weeks turned into months, I barely thought about Lauren anymore. She was just a chapter one had closed, a mistake I had learned from, but nothing more. But then, one random evening, I saw her. I was at the grocery store, minding my own business, when I heard someone whisper, "Oh my God, David." I turned around. There she was, Lauren. She looked different. Not in a bad way, just smaller. Like the confidence she used to carry was gone. For a second, neither of us spoke. Then she gave me a weak smile. "Hey." I just nodded. "Hey." She fidgeted with her sleeves. "How have you been?" I could tell she wasn't just asking to be polite. She wanted to know if I was still broken, if she still had any hold over me. I smiled. "I've been great." And I meant it. Her expression flickered, like she was expecting a different answer. I didn't ask how she was doing. I didn't care. "Anyway," I said, adjusting the bag in my hand, "I should get going." She hesitated, like she wanted to say something else. But I didn't wait to find out. I just walked away. And as I stepped outside, feeling the cool air hit my face, I knew that was a real ending. No more anger. No more resentment. Just freedom. Life didn't just go on. It got better. I got a promotion, traveled more, picked up new hobbies. I met new people, better people, people who didn't lie, who didn't cheat, who didn't take my love for granted. And one day, I woke up and realized I hadn't thought about Lauren in weeks. That's the thing about true closure. It doesn't come from an apology or revenge or some dramatic final conversation. It comes when you just stop caring. Lauren destroyed everything we had, and yet, somehow, I came out of it stronger, happier, free. So, to anyone reading this, wondering how you move on after betrayal, the answer is simple. You don't get even. You get better. And trust me, that's the best revenge of all.